Again, thank you. Good afternoon. Chairwoman Bartlett, members of the House Judiciary Committee. For the record, Delegate Valentine, District 2A, representing Washington and Frederick counties. I'm before you today to present and request a favorable report on House Bill 1323, Courts Immunity from Liability Maryland Safe Haven Program. This bill will assist in modernizing Maryland's safe haven law. State legislators began enacting safe haven laws in 1999 to address infant abandonment and infanticide. Safe haven laws passed with bipartisan support and have been enacted throughout this country, including Maryland. The Maryland General Assembly enacted Maryland Safe Haven laws, establishing a program in 2002. These laws have proven to be an effective solution in preventing the wrongful and illegal harm and death to newborn infants. These laws serve as an alternative for mothers in crisis to safely relinquish their children or babies or infants at designated locations where they can be protected and provided with medical care until a permanent home is found. Safe haven laws generally allow a parent or an agent of the parent to remain anonymous and to be shielded from prosecution. Safe haven laws also provide important legal protections to the providers of designated facilities like hospitals and police stations. The Maryland Safe Haven Program is administered by the Maryland Department of Human Services, and according to reports from the department, the program is underutilized, with no new newborn saved through the program in the last few years. This bill seeks to modernize the current Maryland Safe Haven Program as related to the Maryland Safe Haven Program within existing budget appropriations and increase accessibility of the program by enacting the following enhancements. Increasing the time allowance under which a mother can safely relinquish her infant from 10 to 60 days. 2, the bill would clarify for regulatory purposes that a designated facility under the Safe Haven law includes a professional or volunteer fire company that is insured. 3, the bill would modernize the current Safe Haven law by allowing designated facilities to utilize a newborn safety device to provide women with a truly anonymous option. 4, the bill would provide additional guidance to the Department of Human Services in their efforts to educate and notify the public about the availability of this program. And finally, the bill would provide the General Assembly with an annual report from the department with measurable results of the Safe Haven program, including the number of infants safely surrendered each year and a final disposition related to child custody. Improving upon the work completed by the Maryland Safe Haven law, we can provide greater access to the program and reduce the risk of illegal abandonment of vulnerable infants in our state. And I respectfully request a favorable report on this bill, and it is Senate cross-filed under SB 873.
Thank you. And I see Mr. Jonathan Alexander coming up. Thank you very much. And if you are ready to testify, you may begin.
Certainly. Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the committee. My name is Jonathan Alexander. I'm an attorney and legislative counsel for the Maryland Family Institute, and we are in support of Maryland's Safe Haven program, as it really is the best of Maryland's hospitals, law enforcement, and charitable resources, a confluence of those best things directed towards really the best of us, which are the newborns in this state. Pregnancy is difficult, so I've heard. Child rearing can be a challenge, but the love of a parent for their child is truly unmatched. And parents who are unable to care for their children can find here in Maryland's Safe Haven program a liability-free, really a guilt-free way to ensure that their child would be cared for in their absence. My grandmother has 4 children, 10 of us grandchildren, and invariably the conversation comes up as to who is her favorite. And we all know what her answer is. Her favorite is Mara Luna, a baby that she heard crying and found in a trash heap. She raised Mara Luna, who is a graduate of college and now in diplomacy school. Maryland's Safe Haven program sees a mother and a child like Mara Luna desperate in that situation. It also sees the preciousness of a life that says that without judgment and without criticism and with some simple practical steps, this mother can release the care of her child in this high quality standards of the Safe Haven program that this bill lays out. It's heartening that it also adds the assistance of counselors to the mothers in crisis, where they can access the necessary resources that enable them to make decisions that prioritize the well-being of their babies. This is a feel-good bill as it aligns with the best interests of Maryland's precious children. Therefore, we wholeheartedly recommend giving this bill a favorable report.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Okay, Delegate Kaufman.
Yes, and if you need to, it's good to see you, my friend, and if you need to take this back to Delegate Wyville, that's fine. Have you seen the letter of information from the American Academy of Pediatrics and the American College of Obstetrics and Gynecology, where they like the bill, but they say the newborn safety device, which reads as if it were some type of box that has certain capabilities to monitor the newborn, and then they go on to say, while the safety and legal surroundings of a newborn by a mother who does not want to, blah, 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 blah. There is no research or clinical evidence of the safety or appropriateness related to the device. And then they say, before advancing the legal framework provided in this bill, there should be clear and uncontroverted clinical evidence supporting the use of these devices. So can you elaborate a little bit about, if I'm Jane Doe and I drop my baby off because I can't care for the child, and so if I go to a fire department or what device they're going to be in, and if you know about the safety?
The boxes he's referring to is the Safe Haven baby boxes, and some of the research from stakeholders and the delegate provided me said that these boxes have been in existence and been utilized since 2017. As far as the cost, as far as how this would be set up, it's my understanding from talking to the people involved that they would be through a private organization. They're not asking for state funding to be implementing this program at the locations. And as far as some of the regulatory information on the boxes, it was determined that the FDA does not approve these because it is not considered a quote medical device and does not require FDA approval. And one of the other statements was that it is not available for public sale to the public or in that regard. So I hope that answers some of the questions.
So what could you just describe it a little bit? It's some sort of device that people place the baby into?
Yes, the device and I don't want to, I'm trying to kind of explain it. It would be a locking, a device that would be affixed to a structure, okay, like a police station or a fire department, that would have a door that once something is placed in, it would be a self-locking mechanism that it would lock. It would be tied into the 911 system so that it would alert that someone has been placed in it, and it would be like a temperature controlled environment. It's not a quote incubator or anything like that, but just be a temporary location that would be secured and monitored so that it would alert authorities. And again, we're at these locations, we're at a fire department, we're at a police station. So it's literally affixed to that location, as that's how it was explained in the literature that's been provided to me, how it would work.
Okay, finally, and it's totally up to Delegate Wyville, but thank you for your indulgence, committee. Delegate Wyville may want to reach out to Pam Casemeyer, who wrote this letter, to inform her of all that. She represents the Academy of Pediatrics and the American College of Gynecologists and Obstetrics. All right, thanks.
Thank you, Delegate. I will relay that information.
Delegate Boucher.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Delegate, for bringing this forward. You said it's being monitored. Is it under video surveillance? And the second part is, how many babies have we saved through this surrender process since its inception? Do you know?
As far as the literature I was provided was that it would be monitored like the inside, because again, it's the anonymity for the mother or the individual who's, so it would be inside who's dropping off. That is the information that I was provided.
All right, thank you.
As far as the program, bear with me 1 second.
No problem.
I believe I have that number that you're inquiring about.
This is where we need the Jeopardy music. There we go. We got it going on over here.
I do not want to take up too much of your time.
Delegate Valentine, you're doing great. Take your time. Yeah.
Now, I cannot, this is not specific to Maryland because this is nationwide. The figures I was provided was, so 206 boxes have 43 safe surrenders in 18 states since the program's authorization in these states. So I can't go back how far, but basically 43 safe surrenders
Okay,
utilizing this.
thank you very much.
And there may be a nuance between this particular safe haven box and the safe haven laws that have been existent for 30 plus years.
Thank you. I see no further questions. Thank you very much for your testimony, and that concludes the testimony for House Bill 1323.